If you want cheap Microsoft points and game codes, check out g2a.com. Link is in the description below.
Hey guys, it's Melvin70 here, and today I'm bringing you a new series versus TheMrAcee. The concept of the series is to guess the Premier League results of that week. So we're on match week 12 now. Basically, we go through all 10 of the matches, we do our predictions in this episode, and then we'll show a brief side-by-side comparison, and then next episode whoever wins gets a point. But we're also going to relate this to FIFA, so every single correct result we get, so a win, a loss or a draw, if we get that right, we get 1k, but if we get the correct result, so say it's 3-1, then we'll get 3k per match, and then we'll add all that up, and then by the end of it, whoever's got the most points for getting like the correct results, etc., will get an extra 100k, and we've got to build our team, and then we'll probably wager that against each other, and the winner will get the team, etc. So yeah, hopefully you get the concepts of this series. I'll put the rules in the description, but without further ado, let's get straight into this. So, the first game is going to be Chelsea versus West Brom. Now, obviously, Chelsea are in stunning form. Cesc Fabregas and Diego Costa didn't travel internationally, so they should be fully fit and ready to go. Obviously, Berahino's been doing really, really well for West Brom. They do look kind of threatening, but over the last few weeks, I don't know if they've hit a stumbling block or whatever. Personally, I can't really see anything other than a Chelsea win, but I do think West Brom may score, even though Chelsea's defence is great. So I'm going to go 3-1 for Chelsea. I'll put all of the scores at the end of this video, side by side with TheMrAcee when he does his. So, you know, you can see them and pause, I suppose, if you want. But anyway, the next game is going to be Everton versus West Ham. Now, Everton, I'm sure they had a couple of injuries. I'm not sure if they're back, Coleman, etc., because they didn't travel for the Republic of Ireland game, neither did McCarthy, etc., so I'm not entirely sure. West Ham, on the other hand, have made a stunning start. They are 4th or 5th, aren't they? So they're doing really, really well. They've got, like, Enner Valencia, they've got Sacco, obviously, he's been scoring loads. So, you know, it looks as though it's an evenly matched game, so I'm going to go 2-2. Personally, I think I can't see West Ham losing, and I don't know, it could go either way, I suppose. So I'm going to say 2-2, a draw. The next game is Leicester versus Sunderland. Now, ever since Leicester beat us 5-3, they really have looked piss poor, to be honest. They do look as though they're going down. Sunderland look equally as bad, to be honest, apart from their win against, who was it that they beat 3-1? It was the last team that we played, Crystal Palace. Yeah, they beat them 3-1, so maybe Stephen Fletcher can bring a little bit more flair to that team. But I'm going to go 1-0 Sunderland. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be a really, really dull game, but I do think Sunderland will nick the points. So the next game is an interesting one. It's Manchester City versus Swansea. So, City obviously have hit a stumbling block. Personally, I think Pellegrini just is a terrible manager. I mean, his latest tactics have just been trying to get the ball upfield to Aguero, and it's working. Aguero's scoring. He's a top BPL scorer at the minute, but you can't rely on one player. So, you know, Swansea, they are at home, City. Swansea have been doing fairly okay. I mean, nothing special, but nothing bad, really. They're like kind of mid-table. So, you know what? I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. I think City's troubles will still be there. Like, if City do score early on, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see them walk away with it. But I think David Silva's still injured, and he's a big, big miss for them. The next game is going to be Newcastle versus QPR. Obviously, Newcastle are on a really good run of form, been doing really, really well recently, and so have QPR, to be honest, have been so unlucky. Liverpool, they should have beat, but Liverpool got that lucky own goal later on. City, they should have beat. They got the 2 disallowed goals for retarded reasons when they were disallowed, but it's just ridiculous. So, they've had some tough fixtures and have looked good. Even against Chelsea, 2-1 isn't a bad result. So, personally, this is going to be a really, really interesting game. It could go either way. Newcastle, as I say, found some form thanks to Rolando Aarons and a couple of other players. So, you know what? It's going to be a close-fought game. I'm going to say 3-2 Newcastle, but I wouldn't be surprised if either team wins or this is a draw. But it's going to be a really, really big game, this one, I reckon. The next game is Stoke versus Burnley. Burnley have actually scored recently, I think, so Danny Ings is also back, who was obviously a big part of their promotion flight last season. I'm wording this so terribly, but anyway, yeah, They have found scoring, though, a big problem, and Stoke are very good defensively, so I can't see Burnley scoring. I think this is going to be a 2-0 win for Stoke personally. The next game is the biggest one for me. It's Arsenal versus Manchester United. Now, our injury crisis is beyond a joke. This one I'll talk about a lot more because I am a Manchester United fan, so I do apologise for that. But Arsenal also are without Koscielny, so they've had to play Chambers as a centre-back. And right back, I think they've got to play Hector Bellerin. They've also got Ozil out, but for me, that's a positive because it means Sanchez is deployed in the number 10. And they've got wingers. Cazorla can play there, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Got a lot of talent on the wing. So personally, Koscielny is their biggest loss. Also, we've got Daley Blind and Carrick out, so we don't have a default CDM. Personally, I'll play Ander Herrera there to try and track back with Sanchez a bit more. And also, we've got a lot of defenders out. Hopefully, a few of them are back. The two players that really, really must be back for this game that have the chance to be are David De Gea and Rafael. I can't stand another game of Valencia playing right back. He does okay, but there's just silly mistakes. Personally, I would prefer to see Sedi Yanko make a debut instead of Valencia because he's an actual right back if Rafael isn't back. I would love to see Radamel Falcao back, that injection of pace, manage to get some good runs because RVP is great at shooting, great at holding up the ball. He can't run, he's got no pace anymore, his legs have gone. So, you know, troubles for both sides, and I'm going to depend this on the injuries that we've got. I don't know who's going to be available. The team announcements by Louis van Gaal should happen on Friday. This is getting uploaded on Thursday. But I'm going to say that we're going to nick it 2-1. I think it's going to be a really, really close game. And if our injuries are back, we'll win. If they're not, then possibly Arsenal will. It's destined for Welbeck and RVP to score though. I think both of them will. But 2-1 Man United I'm going. Next game, Palace versus Liverpool. Obviously Liverpool are now without Sturridge again. I don't know if this is confirmed, but apparently he's got a thigh injury again. 3 in a row. He hasn't played for months. It's ridiculous. So that being said, Balotelli's out as well. So they've only got Barini and Barino, what the hell, and Lambert, and also Markovic, who they may play. So, you know, they don't really, obviously they've been doing really, really bad, and they were hoping Sturridge would get back. He hasn't. So Palace, on the other hand, are doing equally as poor as Liverpool. So this one's going to be a dull game, to be honest. I think it's going to be 0-0. Can't really see either side taking this by the scruff of the neck. The next game is Hull versus Spurs. Now, Spurs have been dreadful recently. They started off the league really, really well. I was really impressed. Obviously, Europa, Lamela got that Rabona goal. Harry Kane looked really good. But when Harry Kane started, he played really, really bad last week. And I don't understand. The whole team did, in all honesty. Obviously, they've got Mason as well, another centre-mid talent. They've got Eriksen, Lamela. They've got all these players. And they just can't formulate a winning streak. I don't know what their problem is. Hull on the other side, I'm not going to lie, I've completely forgot about Hull recently. Completely forgot what the crack is with them. So I can't remember what their recent form is, and it's pissing me off. So I'm probably going to say Spurs are going to nick this 2-1. Possibly. The defence hasn't been really like anything special. Especially Kabul made club captain, and he still hasn't done much. So they've got Lloris in there. I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 Spurs. And the last game is Aston Villa versus the surprise package of the season, Southampton. I predicted Southampton to finish in the top half, I believe. Everyone will say relegation, but I did my prediction video. I'm sure I put them in the top 10. Didn't put them in the top 4, or let alone top 2. But that's where they are currently. They're second. They're doing really, really well. They've got so much depth. Even if they get rid of Schneiderlin in the transfer window, they've got James Ward-Prowse. They've got so much talent in that squad. It's beyond belief. I said Tadic and Pele would be, or Pele, whatever you want to call them. Pele, I'm going to call him Pele. It's easier. But anyway, I said they would be brilliant signings. It's proved that way. And they're looking ridiculous. Aston Villa, on the other hand, have been poor recently. They started off really, really well, but then they had a ridiculous fixture congestion full of big teams. They played Liverpool, City, they played Chelsea, they played so many teams all at once, and it was a little bit unlucky for them. They've struggled to score, but they've got Benteke back. Hopefully he's on all cylinders. He was unlucky in Belgium. I think he hit the post or something against Wales. So he came very close. If he's back in form, then he's going to pose a threat. Personally, Southampton aren't doing as well away. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between Aston Villa and Southampton. So yeah, I'll be back when I've got the predictions side by side. And yeah, we'll do a little review, I suppose. Right, so here are the results side by side. As you can see, there's a lot of differences. He's predicted Chelsea to win 4-0 compared to my 3-1. Then he said that Everton will win 2-1. Leicester will lose to Sunderland 2-1. Man City will beat Swansea 3-1. He's also said that QPR will beat Newcastle 2-1. Complete contrast to mine. He said that Stoke would beat Burnley 1-0, so near enough the same result there. He's also said that Man United will draw with Arsenal 2-2. He said that Palace will lose to Liverpool 2-0 and Spurs will beat Hull 2-0. And also, he predicts Southampton to do a demolition job on Aston Villa. So the Aston Villa result and the Newcastle ones are probably the ones that are most different, but there's a fair few differences there. So we'll see who's closer, see who gets the most points. We'll review it at the start of every episode, and then obviously we'll show you the new BPL predictions for Matchday 13 at the end of next episode, etc. So yeah, review at the start, and then we'll show you the new ones at the end. So hopefully you do enjoy, and yeah, peace.